Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to infect everyone in the Quarry. Following this guide will get you the Blood Pact achievement or trophy. Just a quick side note though, I think this achievement is a bit buggy at the moment. 0.3% of players have managed to unlock it. I myself managed to get it, and these are the steps I followed to get it, although I think a lot of people are reporting that it's just buggy at the moment along with a couple of other of the achievements. But yeah, these steps should get everyone infected and hopefully you'll get your achievement. Let me know if you did, if the video helped you out. Just put it down in the comment section. Let's get this going.
It was probably nothing.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is grab this bracelet as Jacob in chapter 1. You don't really have to do this, but if you want to keep Jacob and Emma alive, then you'll want to grab this considering we're going to be infecting everyone. There's a scene later where Jacob turns and attacks Emma. If you've got the bracelet, she won't die. So I just thought I'd give that a mention. It's not really necessary, but just in case you wanted to know. Alright, so next up, in the same chapter when you're playing as Abigail, you want to make sure you open up the cabin here. This will make sure that Dylan gets infected a little later. So when given the option, choose to break in.
Let's do it.
And this doesn't really become important until like chapter 5. But yeah, you need to do it. There's also a bear on the shelf in here, and you can go ahead and grab that for a few different options with Kaitlyn in chapter 10. It's not really necessary to get everybody infected, but it can prove useful if you're trying to keep everyone alive. And you can infect everyone and keep everyone alive. I'm not sure if I grab it here in this video, but at least I've mentioned it to you. It's literally on the left side of the cabin from the way the camera angle is. It's on Abby's right or the camera's left. Although that's up to you. If you want to kill everyone in your playthrough, or you don't really care if people are alive, you'll need to grab this just to give you some more options a little later when it comes towards getting everyone infected and saving them.
I want to play a game.
So yeah, there's the teddy. Make sure you select keep, just to give you those options a little bit later. Alright, so when you're playing as Abby in the Dark Woods, this is the first place that you can get someone infected. Nick will get infected automatically, you don't really have to do anything for that. But there's some quick time events in this area you can fail to get Abigail infected. What's kind of stupid about this is Abigail gets bitten here, and this is like chapter 3. And she doesn't turn at all throughout the entire game, and you know, Nick gets bitten pretty much the same time as her, and he turns in like, I think chapter 6, and for some reason Abigail doesn't turn at all during the game, which is kind of weird, bit of a cop-out. I don't know if they did that because in chapter 9 there's some shotgun shells you can get which you can give to Kaitlyn in the finale. The stupid thing about that again is that if you keep Emma alive, she ends up in the same place and she can do that too. So they easily could have had Abigail transform. I don't really know why they did it. And pretty much every other character except for Ryan transforms, but Ryan's infected for a very short period of time, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, to get Abigail infected here, basically just fail the quick time events or just copy what I'm doing on screen right now. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You just want to make sure that she gets bitten, basically. Originally I thought, because I think this achievement or this trophy is kind of bugged, and it won't unlock for some people. They may have updated that now, but this is the only way to get Abigail infected. Originally I thought that maybe Silas bites Nick, and then when Silas gets shot off, that Kaylee jumps out and bites Abigail. There's like 2 werewolves in this scene basically, and then Laura kills Kaylee in like chapter, I think it's 6 or 5 or something like that. Yeah, I think it's 5. And I mean, if that was the case, that would explain why Abigail doesn't transform. Because the werewolf that's bitten her has been killed. But that's not the case. I have done a bunch of testing with this, but I'm really unsure what's going on with that. And that is the only way to infect Abigail, I think. In chapter 4, when you drop the rotor arm into the water, if you choose to dive in, you may not have picked the rotor arm. It's not really necessary to do that. But just in case this does play out for you, I thought I'd include it. Because you can get Jacob killed here, and you're going to want to try and keep everyone alive until you reach the point where you've got everyone infected, because you need everyone infected at the same time. So just make sure that if you do have Jacob go down here, that you pick the right options to keep him alive. Again, they're being shown on screen. You just need to make sure you choose detangle instead of pull. If you go through all of this, maybe you're trying to get all of the evidence as well. And if you do want to get all of the evidence, you've got to go through this stuff. Not necessary to get Jacob infected, but I just thought I'd include it because you can get him killed here. And I think this is kind of like a lesser known death. It's kind of one of those deaths that everybody may not have got. But there's a bunch of different points where you can get people killed. I'm sure if you've played the game a couple of times you'll know about it, but I'll try to include some of them that you may not know about. Obviously, your main goal is to keep everyone alive so that they get infected, and Jacob is one of the earlier ones. I think Kaitlyn is the last one who gets infected. In like chapter 9 or something like that. Shit. Alright, so I think this is chapter 3. Obviously I'm trying to keep this chapter to chapter. Also, when you're running through the woods as Jacob here, you'll have a section where Bobby goes to put the werewolf blood on you. Make sure you throw the dirt at Bobby to stop that from happening, because if he does that during the opportunity where Jacob can get infected, he'll the werewolf will leave him alone because of the werewolf blood. So just make sure you throw the dirt in Bobby's face to stop that from happening, and that'll give you the opportunity to get Jacob infected a little bit later.
Why
Alright,
would we do that?
so
I don't know, man. Look at that.
again, I think this is chapter
What
3.
do you think it is?
Do I look like
Possibly 4, but you'll come to a section where you can shoot into the bushes as Ryan, and just make sure you don't shoot at Jacob. You don't want to get him killed. He isn't infected yet, so he won't survive. And yeah, you want to keep Jacob alive, obviously. So there'll be a couple of instances you'll see in a second where you can shoot into the bushes. Just make sure you don't shoot at anything. That way you'll keep Jacob alive. And yeah, you'll be able to get him infected later. If you do get a character in a situation where they get injured or attacked, usually the werewolf will leave them alone.
Jacob or Emma?
It's kind of strange because, like I mentioned before, Abby gets infected in like chapter 3 or something, and Nick will still kill her even though she's infected if you've got her infected. It's kind of strange. Like I said, I've done a bunch of testing to see if there's other ways to infect Abigail, and I don't think there is. There's actually not that many sections that you play as Abigail. They're more in the beginning of the game. I think Until Dawn did a sort of a better job of spreading out how you control the characters. In this one, like chapter to chapter, you'll kind of only take control of certain characters, where I feel like in Until Dawn you kind of switched between the characters in all chapters more frequently. Like you played as like characters in early game, you played as them in late game. For instance, you don't really get to play as Kaitlyn much at all throughout the game until the end. There's like a couple of sections. So when we're playing as Emma, you'll get a choice to, I think this is chapter 4, you get a choice to either search the bag or open the trapdoor. You want to search the bag, and this will get Emma the bear spray and the taser. And it's not really necessary to have. Well, no, you need them. You need them actually, yeah, to keep her alive. You do need the taser. It's not necessary to use the taser. You can use the bear spray if you want to. But during a couple of quick time events, Emma will get bitten, and then you'll have to use the taser to save her to keep her alive.
Okay,
So
I think there's something up there.
you have to pass
And
most of the
it
quick
is
time events
not gonna make me jump, I can
that will
promise
show
you
up
that much.
for Emma. I feel like I should have cut some of this talking out. It kind of goes on for far too long. Emma just chats an absolutely unnecessary amount of shit in this
Final
section.
curtain is calling and there's no time for an encore.
It's fine the first time you see it, but when you've played the game several times, listening to Emma dribble on about the same crap again and again by herself is kind of annoying. But use the taser here if you want the evidence. It doesn't matter what you use. Either way, Emma will live, but if you use the taser, you're getting a chance to take a photo, which is a piece of evidence. It's up to you if you want that or not. It really doesn't matter. Alright, so a few quick time events here you'll need to succeed. The last two are the important ones. They're the ones where we can get Emma infected. And this is the section where you can get her infected. I think there is another area you can get Emma infected, and it's when she meets Bobby and Jed in the woods just before she gets into the car. I'm pretty sure you can get her infected there as well. But you just want to get her infected here, to be honest. Bear in mind, Max and Laura are already infected automatically, and Nick. You don't have to do anything to get those characters infected. You can choose run or spray there, it doesn't really matter what you choose. You're going to need to succeed these quick time events. They're always the same, so you can just copy my inputs if you want to. Just remember I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, but even if you're on console they should be the same. I really like what they did with the QuickTime events with the mouse and keyboard on this game. It used to be like they'd give you buttons to press, whereas now they give you directions, which is nice. It kind of registers in my brain a lot faster. Right, so here you can block the door or use the trapdoor. Use the trapdoor, it doesn't matter if you block the door, it just jumps through the window. And these next two QuickTime events are the ones you can miss. You'll get bitten, and then you'll have to use the taser to recover, so succeed the ones where you've got to use the taser. And then again, that is Emma infected now, so if you do pass this next quick time event, Emma will still be infected, but if you miss this one, you can also get her infected here, and she can recover with the taser again and escape. So she gets bitten twice. You've got two opportunities to get her bitten there. There's a ton of different ways that you can get Emma killed in this section. But yeah, there you go. So now Emma's infected. So who's that so far? We've got Nick, Abby, Emma, Dylan isn't infected yet. I think that's it. Laura and Max, obviously, but you don't have to do anything for them. A lot of this stuff has just been kind of precautions. So, because you opened up the cabin in Chapter 1 as Abby, Dylan's going to get bitten here, and you'll get given the choice to chop his hand off or not. Just say no to it. I think the option is like no way or something like that, and that'll make it so that Dylan stays infected, and he'll turn in, I think, Chapter 9. Yeah, so go with, I think, Terrified. Yeah, Terrified.
Man, I'm not dismembering you.
And that way Dylan will be infected and stay that way until he turns in Chapter 9.
The wire, get the wire, get the wire. What? The wire, we gotta plug it in the thingy. On it.
Really easy to miss that one, although you do have another chance to get Dylan infected, but it's quite difficult to achieve. It's a lot more difficult to infect him the second way, which involves when Emma jumps them in the car, I think in Chapter 8, you miss the shot on Dylan or something like that.
Oh, he blew the speaker.
And the werewolf will bite him, but it's a lot easier just to get him infected this way. It's really straightforward. And even then, when the werewolf jumps you in like Chapter 8 or whatever, when the Emma werewolf, you can keep Emma alive just by not shooting her, and Dylan will keep Kaitlyn safe because he's infected and the werewolf won't attack him. So, alright, so I think this is Chapter 5 now? Maybe 6? I think it's 5. When Emma and Jacob are running away, this is where we're going to get Jacob infected. So they'll be running across these wooden platforms and the werewolf jumps out in front of them. You want to pass this next quick time event, Again, there's a bunch of different ways you can get these guys infected. Actually missed that one there. So that's obviously the easiest way to get Jacob infected. And the werewolf falls. I think Emma jumps here, whereas if you pass it, she falls off anyway. So it doesn't really matter what you do. But either way, if you can get him bitten right there, or you can pass it, and you'll have an opportunity in a minute where you've got to hide. And if you just hide and miss the don't breathe event, he'll get infected. If you run, there'll be a quick time event. And if you fail that one, he'll get infected. A bunch of different ways you can do it. My favourite death in the game is very soon. And Jacob falls into bear traps. The funny thing is, if he's not infected, even though he just got infected, if he's not infected and he falls into the bear trap, he dies. But if he's infected and falls into the bear trap, he doesn't die, and the bear trap is like clamped around his face. So it's kind of crazy that the werewolf infection keeps him alive that quickly. Game logic, but definitely one of my favourite deaths in the game. I will have a video coming out soon that shows all the death scenes. I took a lot of time getting all the death scenes. There's a lot of different variations. But I'll be putting that out real soon. Obviously it's annoying because you can have a scene where you'll have a couple of characters you can get killed, or you can get one of the characters killed, or a few of them. There's a lot of different places in all these areas as well where you have quick time events. Some of them people just get infected, but others people die. So you can have 6 or 7 different deaths that are in like one scene. So it can take a lot of time. So yeah, to keep Jacob alive here, you want to pry this open, but if you pull it, Jacob will fall on his face, and you can see that his head's stuck in the bear trap. And if he isn't infected, he'll die there, but if he's infected, he survives, and Jed comes and gets you, which is pretty funny. Oh, because he got bitten like 2 minutes ago. Definitely a cool death.
What doesn't kill you?
What doesn't kill you, mate? Alright, so this is either this is chapter 7 or 8. I think it's not 7, it's 8 or 9, I think.
Jacob?
I'm listing these in order that they'll pop up for you. So when Dylan, Kaitlyn and Abby approach the car, Emma's going to be inside infected, and Kaitlyn's going to have to shoot the werewolf to stop Abby from dying. And the easiest way to hit this shot is just not to move the shotgun at all. So go to shoot and just wait for the werewolf to run in front of your shot. Don't move the shotgun at all. Literally just wait from where it's positioned from when you gain control. You've got to take that shot really quickly. But the easiest way to do it, like I said, is just wait for the werewolf to run in front of you and then shoot. Otherwise the werewolf's going to run past you and kill Abigail. So right here, you don't really want to do any shooting. Because Dylan is infected, the werewolf will go for Kaitlyn, but Dylan will jump in front of you and keep you safe. The werewolf won't kill him because he's infected. You can get Dylan killed here if he isn't infected. And then Kaitlyn will have to go to the scrapyard on her own. Actually really uncommon that people get that in their playthroughs. Because most people, I think, will take the opportunity to shoot at Emma when she's on the car. But if you want to keep her alive here, I'm not sure if you get another choice to use the silver shells.
It's your call.
But just don't use the silver shells. Alright, so Ryan. Very straightforward one. The only opportunity you have to get Ryan infected is when Laura asks if that's what you want, and just say yes. This will also keep Ryan alive. If you don't do this, Ryan will die. Even if you've gone for the best ending, he'll die of blood loss. So to keep him alive in general, you'll want to infect him, but obviously we're trying to infect everyone. So just accept the bite, and then when Laura goes to bite him, just wait. Don't pull away. If you interact with this quick time event, then Ryan won't get infected. So just make sure you don't press anything during this section. Just let it happen. Alright, so now we've just got to do Kaitlyn, and that happens at the Scrapyard. And that'll be everybody infected. I did mention this earlier, that this achievement or trophy is quite buggy, and a lot of people haven't got it. But I managed to get it. I have played the game a few times, but it didn't pop for me first time. I don't know why the game is buggy like this, but there's a couple of achievements that are quite buggy. So when you're playing as Dylan here, if you just miss every quick time event and just don't make choices when you're given the opportunity to, Dylan will get attacked, but because he's infected he won't die, and Kaitlyn will get bitten. So just do nothing, and yeah, that should be everybody infected. We've covered Max, we've covered Laura, we've covered Nick, we've covered Abby, Jacob, Emma, Kaitlyn, Dylan, Ryan. I think that's everyone. I might have even just missed somebody's name right there, but I'm pretty sure that's everyone. But this should be the last person you've got to infect. So yeah, like I said, just don't do anything here. Just keep waiting it out to get Kaitlyn infected. I think there are some quick time events where you can succeed and some you can miss to still get her infected, but it's just easier to miss them all, right? Just sit here and do nothing and let this scene play out. It's a pretty cool scene anyway. Just let it all do its thing. And yeah, the werewolf's gonna bite Kaitlyn, and then Dylan will also turn during this scene. You'll see him transform into a werewolf. Again, just sit this out, let it happen, and then when Kaitlyn is bitten, you can pretty much do what you want from that point onwards. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, that should be everybody infected. And if you go ahead and kill Chris in the next scene, then kill Silas, everyone's still going to be alive, right? So you haven't got to worry too much about that. But yeah, that's all of them. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section if it did. I've got a bunch of other videos for this game if you want any more information on it. Thanks for watching again. And yeah, I'll see you next time.